This is The Wheel Weaves, a Wheel of Time podcast with no spoilers. Hey everyone, I'm your host Dani, and I'm the first-time reader going through this series chapter by chapter. As always, there's no spoilers past the chapter we're covering, and that means it's totally safe for first-time readers. I'm joined by my co-host Brett, who's a longtime fan, and he's guiding me on this journey. We'd like to thank and acknowledge our executive producers, Brandy and Kirkwood, Sean McGuire, Yanis, Albert Lorenzo, LightBlindedFool, Green Man, Deyvis Ferreira, Margaret, Big C, Bennett Williamson, and Dylan C. And before we get into things today, we have 2 new producer-level patrons to welcome to our producer team. So thank you so much and welcome to MKM and also Antoine Benoit, who increased their pledge at patreon.com/thewheelweavespodcast. Both have become annual patrons as well as producers to join the ranks of Passion Socks, KoD Feltz, Benjamin, Michelle O'Brien, Jonathan Reese, Jamie Young, Megan Smiley, Jared Berg, Ricky Morissette, Lance Barden, Charlie Haz, Adam, Hannah Green, Marta Thier, and Michelle Forbes. Thank you so much for your generosity and support. We really, truly could not do this without the support of our fans like you. In this episode, we're talking about Chapter 1 of Knife of Dreams.
Yeah, Chapter 1 is When Last Sounds.
Yes.
And, importantly, this is a very special episode.
Yeah, you informed me of that this evening.
Yes, I did.
I didn't even know.
Yeah. So this is officially our 300th episode.
300 episodes?
Oh my goodness. Okay, so like...
Holy mackerel. Wait,
like
so you mean there's not 1,100 episodes of our podcast?
There might be. There's a little bit of an asterisk to like the 300 because we're talking about the regular released, publicly available episodes.
Right.
Not the bonus ones, just like the regular ones.
Okay, those guys don't count.
Yeah. And we have a bottle of Prosecco to celebrate. Hooray.
I know. And I'm living on the edge.
Oh.
I'm going to pop it now.
Okay, do it live. Here we go.
On the couch. There we go.
You did it.
Yeah?
Last time I think you did that on video for something, and you spilled everywhere.
Yeah.
But this time, it's good.
I wanted the dramatic effect, but this time, not so much.
Yeah.
That's for the ASMR people. There you go. The bubbles. Yay!
Perfect.
300
okay.
episodes.
Yeah, and assuming we make it through tonight, we'll have made it. So I guess congratulations to us.
To have made it to 300 episodes?
Yeah.
Well, I was only under contract till 300 episodes, so this will be my last episode.
This is it.
This is it.
Chapter 1, Knife of Dreams. We're done, guys. All right. Call a wrap. Here we go.
Just kidding.
Now, I thought I had to come up with something pretty special for the fun fact for today.
Ooh.
So it's just like medium interactive for you.
A game?
A little bit.
Is it a game? I love games.
You just gotta let me do what I'm gonna do.
Oh, okay.
So
we've been warned.
Yeah,
okay, cool.
Just go with it. So you might be wondering to yourself, how many hours of my life have I spent listening to the Wheel Weaves podcast?
Oh my gosh. Okay.
So more specifically, how many hours if you listen through all of the regular content at regular speed. So this doesn't count for people who speed up the episodes, and it's not counting all the crazy people who've listened to any of our episodes more than once. And I know you're out there,
okay.
But we're not including you. We're just doing like every episode one time, regular speed.
Sure.
This is the interactive part for you.
Yeah.
Where you get to guess how many hours our 300 episodes have amounted to.
Okay. Well, I'm going to say that we had the majority of our episodes more than 1 hour.
Okay.
We've had very few that are less than 1 hour.
That's true.
But I think the ones that are less than 1 hour will make up for the ones that are slightly more. So I'm going to conservatively say...
Now do the math in your head. What does that all make sense to?
1 times 300.
Roughly 300. Okay.
Probably a little more. I'm going to say somewhere between. Can I do a between, or you want a hard number?
I'd prefer the Price is Right rules.
Oh, less. So I go lower?
Lower.
Okay,
Don't
remember
go over.
the last time we did this and
Yep.
I did it wrong?
It's like, that's not how Price is Right. Okay.
Okay.
Closest without going over.
Okay, I'm going to go 327 hours.
Okay, that's not a terrible guess, but you undershot it.
Yeah, I know. Well, I had to. It was Price is Right. I was going to say 350. I said between 325 and 350.
Okay, you're actually still undercutting how much content we put out there.
Whoa.
So I'm going to give you the number. It's just over 397 hours.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Wow, almost 400 hours?
Yeah, 397 hours, 48 minutes, and 19
guess...
seconds, but there's less than a half a percentage for margin of error because technically we haven't yet edited our last episode, which hasn't come out yet at the time of this recording.
Okay.
Now, you might also be thinking to yourself, what could I have done with 397 hours if I didn't listen to the Wheel Weaves podcast?
Oh my goodness.
Well, you're in luck because the Wheel Weaves podcast cares about you, and I did the math. So, for any fans out there who might be feeling a little bit out of the loop and thinking you're not getting the most out of your podcast experience because you haven't been picking up on every single inside joke and reference that the Wheel Weaves podcast makes, well, boy, do I have news for you, because with 397 hours, you could have watched every single episode of The Simpsons ever, which accounts for about 247 hours, every episode of The Office, which is about 74 hours, every John Mulaney special on Netflix, which is about 4.5 hours, every Harry Potter movie, the original 8 obviously, which is about 19.5 hours, every Lord of the Rings movie, which, and obviously we're talking about the extended editions,
Yep.
which is about 11.5 hours, and that leaves you with 40.5 hours remaining. Now, with that 40.5 hours, gives you just enough time to go and work for a week at your job, wherever you might be employed, and then with the remaining 30 minutes, you can use it to learn how to sign up for patreon.com/the Wheel Weaves podcast, subscribe to 9 News Thumping Stick to your level, and get yourself access to all of our bonus episodes, and boom, now you have over 100 more hours of bonus content to go through.
Cool, except you missed the most important thing is listening to or reading The Wheel of Time.
You can't do that in like 400 hours though, so that doesn't count.
Okay, well, are we ready to get into this?
Yeah.
First chapter?
The 300th episode.
Ooh,
Begin.
Here we go. So chapter 1 is called When Last Sounds.
Mm-hmm.
And our chapter symbol is the Tel'aran'rhiod symbol.
Right, the ring, dream, terangrial.
Some people would say that.
Totally.
Yeah.
Because Swan totally has that literal ring in her position.
Oh, for sure. At
Yeah.
least I will be on board with that being it for this.
Sure.
Because
Yeah, totally.
it makes an appearance in this chapter.
One day.
I'm not
One
for
day.
it being a dream ring terangrial when it doesn't even show up in the chapter.
Sure.
And it's just a Tel'aran'rhiod chapter.
Okay.
Anyway, we're not even in Tel'aran'rhiod.
Well, not yet, but it's like, it's
No, not yet. It's like, it already happened.
No, it's gonna happen.
No, it already happened.
And it's gonna happen again. That's the entire point of this chapter.
Okay, maybe. Well, yeah.
So the chapter is titled after.
Oh.
Oh my goodness, you don't even know. Okay, we'll get there. That's the ending.
It's gonna be in Tel'aran'rhiod.
Yes, that's the point. We'll get there. Let's just wait.
Oh.
Let's do all the other stuff, and then we'll talk about When Last Sounds.
Got it. I just got it. I thought
Yeah.
we were like gatewaying.
That's why it's so funny.
I thought we were gatewaying in.
No.
And we were gonna meet secretly in the hall.
Yeah.
While everyone's like sleeping.
You know, that'd be
and
funny
then they're
too.
gonna gateway out.
Yeah. But how would Egwene get there?
I don't know.
She's running the meeting.
Oh.
That's why she's calling the meeting.
I know, I just assumed that she had figured out a way to like get there at night.
Okay.
You know,
okay.
like maybe if her guards are sleeping or
Sure.
she fork routes them.
We gotta talk about timeline
Something.
here too, because then
it like literally all just happened.
Yeah.
I'm aware. Okay, now I'm understanding.
Yeah.
I got it.
We'll get there. Okay.
Okay, before we're going to talk about that, though, we have to talk about the wind.
Yeah. Iconic paragraph opening.
Yes, our regular, it wasn't the beginning, but it was a beginning,
Mm-hmm.
right? So, now I stopped memorizing these a long time ago,
Okay.
but I'm still going to talk about it because I have
that's
them
fair.
written down. So, in the first book, we have the wind rising in the mountains of mist.
Mm-hmm.
In the second book, they rise in the mountains of doom.
Okay.
And in the third book, they rise in the mountains of mist again.
Nice.
And in the fourth book, they rise over the Carlean grass.
Caroline.
You correct me every time.
Mm-hmm.
And in the fifth book, they rise over Braham Wood.
Yeah.
In book 6, they rise in a forest in Kyrian.
Okay. I'm agreeing because I don't actually know because I never memorized
In
it.
book 7, they rise in Braham Wood again.
Again, yeah.
In book 8, the wind rises above the island of Tremalking over to Ebudar.
Cool.
We get a little bit like more complicated as we go.
Yeah.
Book 9, the wind is going to rise across the Arith Ocean towards Terabon.
Very cool.
And book 10, the wind is going to rise in the Rahanin
Yeah.
Hills.
Nailing it. Yeah.
And moves west into the harbor area of Ebudar.
Okay.
And now today, we're going to start in a Swan perspective, but we don't get that it's Swan yet.
Right.
It actually takes us 2 full pages to find out whose perspective we're in.
Well,
and like what's going on.
Because the wind this time seems to be incredibly violent.
And stinky.
Yeah.
It smells so bad.
You know.
Okay, so the wind starts high up on Dragon Mount, or like in Dragon Mount.
So high that the altitude is where like men couldn't breathe. It's like really, yeah.
Uh-huh.
You'd have to assume the sulfur smell is coming from the fact that it's a volcano.
Which we get. If you ever thought that maybe it wasn't a volcano.
We've seen smoke rising from Dragon Mount before.
I know, but here they talk about like lava and stuff.
Well, it's a volcano. That's what's inside a volcano is
I know,
lava.
but before it could be like, oh, it's just kind of smoking. No, full volcano.
Where's the smoke coming from if there's no lava?
I don't know.
I don't know enough about lava.
Listen,
or
I don't
volcanoes.
know about all the magic that could happen in this series. I don't know about magic, Dragon Mount, Loose Theron.
Loose Theron still inside.
Smoking a
big pipe.
See?
I'm not saying it's not possible.
Anyway, so that's where the wind is.
Okay, now let's talk about the wind.
What do you mean? I just talked about the wind.
Let's talk about what happens. Like, where does it go? What does it do?
Tornado.
Why all the violence? What's happening?
Well, the wind is going to continue down to where the rebel Aes Sedai camp is.
Yeah. So
right?
if you look
outside of Tar Valon.
If you're looking at the map too, so the Dragon Mount is like a little bit like northwest-ish of Tar Valon.
Yes.
So it's coming east towards Tar Valon,
Mm-hmm.
and that's where most of our rebel camp is stationed.
That's right. Now, many of the Aes Sedai here are still awake and talking and arguing about what happened tonight.
Yep.
So we get a timestamp.
Mm-hmm.
And most importantly, what they're going to do next.
Yes.
So right away, I'm immediately wrong.
Yeah. Yep.
So wrong.
But also, they're wrong immediately, too, so...
Oh, yeah, but I'm wrong in thinking what was going to happen and what they were going to think was happen. Like, they immediately go to dead.
Yep.
She's dead, they're dead, now what?
Yeah, you also were spitballing the idea, like, oh, maybe Swan can cover this up for 2 or 3 days somehow.
Well, I thought maybe no one would know for a while.
Yeah.
I was so wrong.
Yeah.
The most wrong I've been about something for like a long time.
Well, when a person goes missing, you immediately start looking for them. Like, search party, right away.
No.
Let's go.
Immediately dead.
Right. No search party. She's dead.
Just assume they're dead. What's our next scheme?
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm.
Much more efficient that way.
Right. So they assume she's dead because her boat was found overturned in the reeds or something.
Yeah, like in the river.
At North Harbor.
Yeah, and nobody can survive the current because, like, the Tar Valon, like, a river surrounding is crazy strong and ginormous.
It's a river.
It's a very strong, ginormo river, so, yeah. I guess it makes sense.
Okay.
Sort of.
Now,
okay.
the wind is going to keep blowing over to the soldier camp.
Yep.
Where there's a huge tornado or
basically,
something?
yeah. It's kind of like almost seems comical at the beginning, where it's like, oh, blankets are ripped off and tent pegs are ripped out and there's canvases flying and wagons are toppling. But then it gets way more serious when we get in Swan's perspective, where it's like people die.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like a mini tornado, I guess, that,
I don't think
pops
mini.
up.
I think just regular.
Well, I imagine like big, I'm thinking like Twister version of tornadoes, like more than a couple people would die, but...
Yeah.
I've never seen a tornado in real life, but...
I've also never seen Twister.
Oh.
Is that big?
Yeah, category 5.
Oh my gosh.
I think.
Okay.
If my memory from childhood serves me
you know what's
correctly.
interesting too is this type of paragraph is one that I completely skim over.
Okay.
And I didn't actually even recognize that something was wrong until Swan was walking through because I waited, because I'm just skimming looking for whose perspective I'm in.
For sure.
Because all of this stuff is preamble and it's boring setup that I never read. And so I'm just skimming for a name because I'm trying to figure out whose perspective are we in, what's going on.
So,
and I get to Swan and I start reading, and it's not until Swan leaves the tent finally, which takes a bajillion years.
A little while, yeah.
And she's walking through, and she's like, I wish I could heal people, but no time.
Yeah, and she's like, this looks like a war zone.
And I was like, whoa, what happened? But I didn't go back and read.
Okay.
I just assumed you would tell me about it.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
Here we are.
Well, here we are. And I guess that means you didn't pick up on the fact that everybody's a little bit suspicious about the ill omens of the sulfur wind coming from Dragon Mount.
Ooh.
Should we be worried about this active volcano?
No.
Oh, okay. Dismissed that pretty quick.
Yeah.
You're not worried about the lava from...
I'm worried about...
It's a volcano, like, you know.
Okay, well, here's the thing. I'm worried about everything that's happening.
Yeah.
You know, this is just another Weevil situation.
You're comparing an active volcano to weevils.
Evil Weevils.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair.
Food spoilage is not something to scoff at.
Well, neither is an active volcano when you're, like, right beside it.
Well, it's not the volcano. It didn't erupt.
Yeah, I guess.
Okay. It's the wind.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Took 11 books. This wind finally really did something.
Yeah.
Because before it's like, oh, that wind.
Just showing us what's around.
Just brushed around the place. Now, no.
Yeah.
Serious wind.
Well, to be fair, the wind did try to kill Rand in book 2. Pretty sure.
No, the air did.
The air did. Okay.
What's the difference between air and wind?
One's blowing.
Movement?
Movement, the speed at which it moves.
Yeah, because the air turned to jelly around Rand. That's what you're talking about, right?
Yeah, and land.
Which, did we ever learn?
There's theories.
Okay, but never...
We haven't seen anything.
It's just like kind of a random thing that no one ever talks about again?
I mean...
So far?
When you say nobody, like, are you talking about, like, the people in the books? Or,
I feel like
we're
far enough into the series now that if something like that hasn't been talked about or whatever, like, we're not getting it.
Okay, some theory would speculate that maybe, like, precursor to Bubbles of Evil and, like, weird stuff happening.
Okay.
So, weird thing happened. You know, Dark One might be trying to take a shot at the Dragon Reborn.
Okay.
So.
Still.
We have no confirmation of any sort as of yet.
Right. And I don't know that we will.
Yeah.
It will be surprising. If it's like, hey, remember that time?
Yeah. It was me.
And I think there was one moment...
I think you said it was a Forsaken. I think you blended on a Forsaken at one point.
Yeah, that would be great. That would be exciting.
Yeah.
I think at one point in, like, book 5 or 6, something else happened where somebody was in some kind of held in jelly air, and we had a whole discussion about it, but then it was like, nah, that doesn't make sense. So
I don't remember that jelly argument.
Okay. All right, let's get into this, though, because now we're getting into chapter 1. We're getting into Knife of Dreams, so that's exciting. So...
I like how you say we're getting into Knife of Dreams. We're over 100 pages in already.
I know, that's true. That's
we're
true.
in it.
That is true. Okay. And how many pages are we total? Like, you talk about all sorts of things like word count and chapters.
Like, number of pages, it doesn't really matter. Word count is more important because word doesn't change.
But you keep saying 100 pages, so don't tell me pages doesn't matter.
Okay, in my book, the prologue was 92 pages, but in your book, it was about 100, it was like 98 pages.
Oh.
There's a difference. And then audiobooks, there are no pages. So, that's why I go by word count usually for most stuff.
800 pages?
Yeah, a little bit more.
Okay. All right. Just gauging where we're at.
Yeah.
Now, let's start.
Now let's start the episode. You think by 300 episodes we'd know how to do this by now?
You know, this is part of it.
Okay, let's get to Swan. Swan is here. This is her perspective. Go.
Well, we find out that the wind and all the yelling wakes her up.
Because people are dying out there, Swan.
Yeah.
It's serious.
Now, we get right away that she was sort of grieving and had lost all hope and had said her prayers, and Egwene dying ruins everything.
Yeah.
But now she has her hopes back.
Yeah, because it turns out everyone was kind of smart, and we did some Teleran-Riyadh communication tonight.
Right.
Good.
Yeah. But you know what's interesting is we never actually get the full message that Swan got from Egwene.
That's true.
We get the censored version that she tells different parties.
Yeah.
But we don't know if she actually knows everything or if Egwene actually is keeping things to herself here, which is Egwene, not the time.
Well, I mean, it feels like Egwene's mission has shifted a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll get into it.
Okay, let's get into it.
Yeah.
Because the important thing is that Egwene is not only alive, but she passed along this message.
No. The important thing is that Swan is currently in Gareth Bryn's tent right now.
Okay. No. The important thing... How long can this go on
I know.
for?
If we're going by number of pages spent talking, it's the Gareth Bryn thing, I think, is the most important.
No, what's actually important, though, really, that I noted,
Okay.
I have a note to talk about,
All right.
is that Swan has not admitted to Gareth Bryn that she loves him.
Sure.
They haven't talked about it. They're not in a relationship, and they have not kissed.
Yeah, okay.
Because those are all the things I thought for sure have already happened.
Yeah, it feels like that, and it feels like in a realistic setting, those things should have happened, but I mean...
Not in this setting.
I guess Swan doesn't have that much experience with relationships. Oh, well.
Right.
But, I mean,
Okay.
I assume Gareth Bryn is, like, a smart guy, and he understands what's happening. Like, he's not...
Yeah, but he doesn't have time for this.
No, he's not emotionally cut off, but I do like the thought process that Swan has, where she thinks, like, okay, so Gareth Bryn hasn't come to the tent yet tonight, so where is he? Is he out, like, organizing soldiers? Has he abandoned the camp and is running away and then berates herself because she's like, no, he would never do that. It's a lot of feelings that are all mixed into this.
Right, especially because he is sworn to Egwene,
Yeah.
and if he believes that she's dead,
Mm-hmm.
then now what for him?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And she thinks like, oh, I've been able to keep, we've been able to keep a lot of information away, but he's a smart guy. He knows how to get information.
Yeah.
Like he has to know what's up.
Yeah, and he did technically swear to the Aes Sedai
Yeah.
that he would stay until they have Tar Valon.
Yeah.
Right? And so even though he preferred to report to Egwene, the Amerlin seat, whatever,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he's running away.
Didn't hear no bell yet. The fight still goes on.
Oh, I didn't
Yeah.
know what bell you were talking about.
Like,
Okay.
boxing
No, I get it
and
now.
such.
I understand.
Yeah.
I get it now. So Swan thinks, I'm going to put Gareth out of my mind. And then she spends so much time thinking about him. And then even as we go, she can't stop thinking about him.
You're just going to try and blow over all these things?
All of it. Literally all of it. Because
Okay.
it's so dull.
Can I point out one thing that I like about Gareth Bryn that's not really Swan related?
Is that he shined his own boots or something?
No, because that's Swan related because she like peels the polish off his boots and leaves it in a puddle outside.
And then spends 3 paragraphs thinking about where she should put the splat of whatever he shines his boot with.
Yeah. No, so what I do
shine.
the thing that I like...
It goes outside.
Okay. The thing that I like that's not Swan related is that Gareth Bryn has his tent set up in a very orderly fashion, but she thinks that it's as if he sets it up so that an assassin wouldn't be able to make it to his bed without, like, tripping over things and breaking his own leg or something.
Yeah, because Swan trips over everything on her way out of the tent.
And I think, like, Gareth Bryn for sure sets up his tent in a strategic way so that if there's assassins who try to break in, like, he's in a defensible position.
Yeah.
It's just like a fantastic little piece of information about him.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Now, one last thing about Swan and Bryn. In case you forgot, we get a recap that Min had a viewing about the both of them.
Yep.
That they have to stay close together so that they both can live.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah. You go away from each other, you die. You stay close together, you don't die.
That's right.
It's important.
Now, she leaves the tent and looks around the camp, and this is where we get kind of a disaster scene.
This is when you're like, oh, I should have reread the wind scene.
Yeah.
Disaster.
I mean, I gleamed that the wind was devastating.
Yeah.
And I didn't have to reread it. I got it. I get the message, you know?
I get you didn't have to, but...
Yeah, but what we do get here that is very interesting is that Swan got her full healing power back when Nynaeve healed her.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
No, it's not just kind of cool. It changes everything.
Why?
Brett, don't even with your stupid face.
No.
No, don't even with me. You're not holding your
okay.
straight face well enough for this moment. Listen to me.
Okay.
So, yeah, take a drink. Yeah, don't even look at me in the eye when I'm talking, because I figured something out here.
You think you might have.
No, I have. This is funny. Okay, so what I picked up on is Nynaeve healed Swan and Lyanna, but they didn't get healed fully, except for the healing power, which Nynaeve is super good at. Nynaeve is an excellent healer, right?
That is not what I thought you were going to say, but go on.
Okay, so maybe the healing, whether it works really well or not,
Sure.
has less to do with whether it's like a male healing a female or a female healing a female, and has more to do with the individual healer and their method for fixing the healing.
Yeah, okay.
Or fixing the stilling gentling.
So correct me, but are you implying that Nynaeve like imparted some of her healing ability onto Swan because like Nynaeve's the healer,
or like maybe she fixed that part better somehow because she understands it better.
Okay.
Although that still doesn't make a lot of sense as to why she healed Logain fully.
Yeah.
And not but it still is an interesting thing to think about.
Okay. I thought you were gonna go something along the lines of like, oh, Swan maybe has like a talent for healing, so she's better at that naturally. So she's better at it.
No, she specifically says she doesn't have a talent at it.
No, but...
She specifically says that she has, like, no talent in it.
Yeah, no.
But she could offer something to these people who are...
No, I said that's what I thought you were going to go down the lines of, like...
Nope.
Okay.
No.
I don't know. I never know what you're going to say.
Keep you on your toes.
Okay. Anyways...
now I'm really wondering.
So now that
you thought I was gonna say really, because you did not hide that poker face that well.
So now that
today.
she's good at healing, but she's not gonna heal anybody because no time for that now.
No, literally none.
There's more important things to deal with.
More important things.
And I kind of agree with her. I
agree too. It sucks, but I agree.
Yeah.
Now, what is interesting is her horse ride back to the Aes Sedai camp and how she comes about riding this horse.
Now, when you say interesting,
yeah,
do you mean interesting or just like it was 3 pages?
It was 3 pages
of your life.
I mean, there's some like comedic relief, I guess.
It's literally like a physical comedy sketch of Swan needing to get a mild-mannered horse, but we have no time to find Bella.
Yeah.
But then we get like a different horse, and then she hates horses, and she thinks that my bones are going to be broken if I get on any horse.
Yeah. Well,
it's a whole thing.
I like that she's like, see, boats don't have brains. Boats are so easy. And then she lists all the things that you have to be good at.
As long as you know how the winds work and the water works and the waves work and you're not an idiot.
But any fool could know that. But horses have their own brains.
Even though they're small and stupid brains, they're still brains.
And if they decide to just kill you, they will.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I kind of agree with Swan.
I kind of like this horse too because it nuzzles her a lot later.
That's true.
And she's like, stop trying to nuzzle me like I'm going to pet you. I hate you.
I agree with Swan with the horse thing because they're big and they're scary, but I also don't like boats. So like, you know?
You don't like most things.
Yeah.
Like what things do you like?
Wheel of Time.
Oh, yeah. Not the boats and the horses in Wheel of Time, though.
I can read about them. I just don't want to physically interact with them. But
no, I'm going to get you on a horse.
Good luck.
No, it'll be fun. We'll all go horseback riding.
Mm-hmm.
I'll get you on a pony. Your feet will, like, drag on the ground.
Anyway, so then we get the whole, her almost dying. They gallop, and then the horse abruptly stops and then rears back. And I just imagine that this horse is not moving nearly as fast as Swan thinks it is.
Like
she's like, we're galloping through the camp. And she's probably just like holding on barely and it's just trotting or something.
Yeah. No, anyways, I think it ran pretty fast.
Me too. It'd be funny if it's just the perception of her. Yeah.
Well, before Swan is going to get into this Aes Sedai camp and the interesting stuff is going to happen, let's take a quick break and be right back. Alright, so Swan is going to enter the Aes Sedai camp all calm, or at least she thinks she's super calm, and she embraces the power, and she thinks about how 2 people were murdered here, and everybody thinks it's not safe, but she doesn't even think the power could help her if somebody wanted to murder her, and
she's right about all those things.
It's like a recap, though.
Yeah,
because we are in recap mode.
A little bit.
But it's just an interesting way, I guess.
Yeah. But I do appreciate that she is trying to stay sort of undercover-ish, so she masks her ability to channel.
Okay.
Like, she's being smart about it.
Sort of, but then she immediately goes to someone's tent and is like, they've cast a thing for I can't eavesdrop, so I am gonna probe at the shield.
It's not just somebody. She's specifically searching out the sisters who are personally sworn to Egwene.
I know.
And she goes to the first 2 tents, and they're not home. And then she finally goes to Morel's tent, and everybody's having a friggin' party in here.
But instead of just, like, going
in... So she pokies.
Yeah, but she knows there's an eavesdropping weed.
Yeah, but she knows that, but she's just making sure they're being careful. And they don't know that it's her, but then she's immediately going in. So it's like, come on.
But then they're like, should have known it was you.
Of course they should have. But that's the entire purpose of this little mission.
Fine. No, I do know that.
Yeah.
And it's Morel's tent. And now Morel is a green, and has a secret bond to Lan.
Yeah.
That is secret, and we get that it's secret.
Yeah, but, like, we know that.
I know. But
That's not the most important part here, though.
what is her big tent?
Well, no, just the fact that Swan thinks I really need to get this information out to key people first. So she thinks I need to inform the Hall, but not yet. Before
Okay.
she's going to tell the Hall,
She's going to tell the
she's going to tell
advisors.
the secret advisors.
Quote, advisors.
They're all secret, quote, advisors, quote. That's who they are. So that's why we're at Merle's tent, and it's very bad because there's some of the people from this secret advisory position
together,
but not all of them. And that's also concerning. There's some things that are concerning. It's mostly all these things happening here. It's all concerning.
Okay, so we have Sheriam.
Yes.
Who's there?
Yeah.
We have Morel.
Yeah.
Because it's her tent. We have Carlinia.
Mm-hmm. And one more. Morvrin.
Morvrin. It's Morvrin.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who could forget?
Who could forget Morvrin?
Aes Sedai number 4.
Except, listen, Morvrin is brown, but she's not looking spacey at all.
No, now is not a time to be spacey.
See, turn it off and on.
Of course.
Yeah.
Pretty sure that's pretty established.
I know, but it's like if you know that you can do it, like it loses its effectiveness.
A little bit, sure. I agree. Okay. And, to note, Sheriam is not wearing her Keeper Stole.
Oh, yeah.
So it's really funny because in Swan's perspective, she's looking at everything and she's
analyzing.
She's analyzing and she's realizing like all the signs that are bad. She's like, oh, they're meeting here in this tent. That's bad. Not everybody's here. That's bad. Sheriam not wearing her Keeper Stole. That's bad.
Well, they all think Egwene's dead.
Yeah, but that means that, Swan knows that she's not dead, but it also means that this secret alliance and oath swearing that they've done to Egwene is all about to crumble to dust.
Well, yeah.
And that means that the rebellion is going to crumble right away, too.
Well, I could have told you that.
But that's bad.
Yeah.
That's bad for business.
Well, yeah.
All right? Okay.
Sure. We need leadership.
Where's the leader? She's captive. I don't know. That's why you don't send your leader to go and do the
They didn't.
Quendiar thing.
They did not send her.
Well, the leader sent the leader to go do the Quendiar thing.
She sent herself.
She picked a bad leader, man.
That's different.
Oh.
That is so different. Going yourself is different than being sent.
I don't know.
Especially when every single person you know would advise you not to do that thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's different.
If you're about to do a thing and you think, would an idiot do that
thing? Don't
then
do
I
that
do not
thing.
do that thing.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
Easy. Just remember that.
Okay.
All right. So now we're having a conversation in this tent, but first, Morvrin is going to be like, Swan, you look like a trollop. Someone's going to dandle you on your knee because your hair's all tousled.
Oh my.
Like,
what
the hell's happening?
Trollocs are not known for their personal hygiene, which is also fair.
You know what? That would have been funnier if she's like, you look like a Trolloc. That would be funnier. No, she's like, apparently women who have messy hair are about to be picked up in bars. I just don't understand the logic.
People love that kind of lady,
But then Swan thinks, oh yeah, no, I definitely don't want my hair to be messy. So she starts brushing it.
Yeah. Well, okay. And again, there's like little sub things happening here too.
Yeah. And
Swan thinks throughout this entire chapter that she's falling back into the ways, or she's fallen back into the ways completely of being Aes Sedai. And she's very, very low in the hierarchy. So basically anyone who tells her to do anything, she automatically is going to start doing that thing too.
Right. Okay. So she's immediately going to bust out and say, Egwene and Lyanna are alive and are prisoners inside the tower. And she explains that Egwene spoke to her in her dreams and that they succeeded in blocking the harbors mostly.
Yep.
But they were captured.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Now, Swan asks where the rest of the party is.
Yeah, so this is kind of the important part because we know that Egwene has certain people loyal to her. So if they're all being loyal to her, they should technically all be here probably discussing what to do next. Like,
well,
maybe.
I don't know. Baonin was really tired.
Yeah,
She's so sleepy. She needed to go to bed.
Can't even talk about this anymore. I gotta go to bed.
Yeah.
So,
and then what does Nisal have to do with any of this? She sucks.
Yeah. She's not even a part of this, really.
But then Morale's like, she's my friend.
Well, Nisal kind of got dragged into it because she was there with the land thing when Egwene showed up. So that's why she's a part of this. She's like, she's not the same, but anyways.
Mm-hmm.
It all feels like it's all kind of breaking apart. And it's not good, and that's one of the things that Swan
I
thinks.
don't care. This is literally exactly what I would expect of Aes Sedai, and it literally doesn't matter.
Yeah. Well, Swan doesn't pick up on it, and she thinks that, the news that Egwene is alive is going to stop them in their tracks of thinking, because she's dead, we don't have to still go along with the oath, right? But clearly, I mean, that's the thing. These women swore an oath under duress, more or less.
Yeah.
And if she's dead, then that oath is off the table.
That's right.
And they can do whatever they want to now.
Yes.
But also, if she's captured, I mean...
Gray area.
It's gray, but for these Aes Sedai, it's not really gray. It's like, F you and F your oath, you made me swear. Like, you're captured, you're not the legit Amerlin seed anymore. Like, what they could twist it in any way they want to at this point to do whatever they want.
Yeah, but it'll be more challenging, too, because they swore the oath.
Yeah.
And depending on, like, the actual words that they said, they're bound to it because of their other 3 oaths.
It matters the words they said, but it also matters for oaths how you feel about the words you said.
Okay.
Right? And that's kind of the tricky, that's like the big loophole.
Okay.
With oath swearing like this.
Okay.
So,
I guess we'll just have to see how this plays
guess
out.
we'll have to read and find out.
All right, because Sheriam is going to come in now and be like, escape plan.
Yeah.
Let's get her up, bust her out.
I like it. Do you like it? I like it. This is a good reaction.
I think the reaction is good. The reaction is, yeah, let's go help her and get her back.
Yeah, she kind of has a game plan because she's like, okay.
the game plan's bad.
Well, it's
Prisoner means they're deep in the cells and we know that we can get there.
Yeah.
And
like hypothetically,
let's jump in and do it.
Hypothetically, that's a good plan because if they are, like, we know the deep cells low in the basements and that's where you store people like this. And Egwene thought she was going to go there too. And any reasonable person would think that that's where Egwene should go too.
Yeah.
So it's like, let's go bust and save her, bring her out. And it's like, boom, it's like it never happened.
Yep.
But everything kind of unravels.
And Morel's like, yeah, that's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
But we should leave the warders behind because they're not needed.
I guess so.
And then Swan's like, no. Egwene said no.
Yeah.
No rescue plan.
Yeah. Well, no rescue plan that involves sisters.
Ah,
so
okay.
But, I mean, that's still very problematic because that means no gateways.
Yeah.
You can't just, like, gateway and then sneak a bunch of soldiers in. You can't do anything except for have soldiers.
Right.
And how are you going to bust into the White Tower?
Right. Okay, hold on. I need to back up a little bit because
Okay.
initially I was concerned that people were going to be skeptical of Swan. And if there is no real proof, and they're like, well, how do you know? Oh, she spoke to you in your dreams? That's suspicious and sketchy. Like, that
Sure.
fits your agenda.
Yeah.
Right? And I don't know if these Aes Sedai know Swan can lie.
Yeah.
Because
Yep.
if they think that she is still bound by the oaths, then her saying it makes it true. And it's a very clear statement. She's alive. She talked to me in my dreams.
Yeah.
Here's what she said. Like, those are things that aren't wishy-washy. And so if they think she can't lie, then for sure they're going to take her at face value and not even question it.
Yeah.
But if they know she can lie or something like that, then it'll be a little more challenging.
Everything we've seen, nobody's really questioned if she can lie.
Yeah.
Because their entire Elida plan to overthrow her kind of hinges on the fact that she was talking about the Logain plan. With like, she concocted that whole thing, sort of, and she went along with it. So, from what we can tell, it doesn't seem like they think she can lie. Again, it's like gray area.
Right.
So.
Okay. So, Carlinia has her white Aja. That's irrational.
Mm-hmm.
She thinks that not trying to save Egwene is not a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
She said, if we had Elida captive here, we would still her, and since they've captured Egwene, they're gonna do the same to her. It's only logical.
Totally.
And it's like, no, not everything is exactly black and white, Carlinia.
Mm-hmm.
Huh?
Yeah.
Anyway, Sheriam is like, we must rescue her. She can't realize the danger she's in.
She's in shock.
She's just a child.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, it's the same argument the Tower I said. She's like, she's in shock. She doesn't know what's happening to her.
Yeah, I know. That's funny. So basically what happens is there's pushback. They want to go in and rescue Egwene, and I'm half on their side about it.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily think that Egwene's full-fledged plan is a good one.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they don't have all the details about what's going on in the tower. And so Swan is going to explain to them that this is a bad idea because Egwene is being guarded. she won't say where she's being guarded, and so we don't want Aes Sedai killing Aes Sedai. That's bad.
That's the entire premise of this whole thing. So my big question, I guess, for you, because Egwene seems pretty firmly on the fact, like, we don't want Aes Sedai killing Aes Sedai. We don't want that to happen again because it's happened before. The pushback stems from the fact that, like, hey, Elaida abolished the Blue Aja. Like, it doesn't exist anymore in the tower.
Yeah.
We've got some pushback saying, oh, well, she can't do that. But it's like, well, she did it.
Yeah.
So I don't know how you feel about that. How do you feel about Egwene's plan to not have a rescue? Like, it seems like she wants to stay in the tower right now.
I don't think that she wants to stay in the tower. I think that she wants to direct what's going to happen next.
Okay.
I think that's why she ends up calling this meeting of the sitters.
So it's more like,
right?
Yeah, so it's more like no rescue plan until I can talk with everyone?
Yeah.
Okay, so don't do anything like, don't try and bust in here immediately. Let me come up with a game plan kind of thing.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
That makes more sense too, because like you want to pump the brakes a little bit. Because in this...
Yeah, I do agree. We shouldn't just, like, rush in without knowing the facts. But at the same time, I don't fully trust Egwene and her half-brained schemes.
Yeah.
Like, Egwene is so well-intentioned. And she totally, we talked about this last time, has dove headfirst into this title that she's been given.
Yeah.
But I think that there might be others who also have ideas.
You should listen to those ideas.
About how this can be handled right now.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
And I'm so happy that we're talking, because if I just kept reading, I wouldn't, until maybe next time, I hope that we're going to see this meeting, but I really didn't understand that it was going to be in Tel'aran'rhiod.
Yeah. Yep.
Anyway, okay.
That's the...
Yeah, okay.
That's the funny part of it.
Okay, we'll get to.
Okay. Yeah, and the conversation kind of wraps up with them, too, because there's more pushback, like, hey, I mean, if Egwene isn't going to be a prisoner and still then executed...
They don't understand what's going on, even.
Morven speculates that, kind of like what you said, is that Elaida has a plan. They're going to break her.
Yes.
And we don't want Egwene to get to the point where, like, she's strong-willed and hard-headed, but if the tower wants to break you, then they're going to break you. And we don't want to wait until that happens.
Yeah, but they haven't met the stubbornness that is Egwene.
That's true, too, but
I don't believe the tower could break Egwene.
I mean, given enough time.
Nope.
Well, the Shanshan were pretty close.
Nope. She was never broken.
No, but, like, give her a couple extra months, and it's like, let's change the, dynamic of that relationship, so...
Maybe, but I still think that there's always that hope of rescue. I don't think with Egwene...
Okay.
It goes away.
I'll take that.
Yeah.
Should be like an Olivia situation.
Yeah.
Like, she'll wait 400 years and then, like,
yeah,
I'll F you up real good.
Yep.
Okay. Anyways, Lilani.
Lilane.
No, that's the right way to say it.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
No, it's Lilana or something, isn't it?
That's how you say it.
How do I say it? I don't know.
She busts in. She's got...
Oh, yeah, she just comes straight in.
Oh, yeah.
And she's like, this is an interesting group of people to be standing around talking in the middle of the night.
Mm-hmm. Even though there's
Sheriam,
like a bunch of others.
put your stole on.
Yeah, but seriously, like, Sheriam, put your stole on. Like, what are we doing here?
Well, if Egwene's dead, is she the keeper?
Well, I mean, until you're officially not the keeper, you're still the keeper.
Okay. Even if the Amarylline's dead?
There's procedures, people.
All right. Anyway, Sheriam is going to immediately tell Lilane that Egwene and Lyanna are alive and they're refusing any rescue attempts. And then Swan is like, fuck. Like, she had a plan. She's like, I was gonna go to Lilane next.
Yeah.
I was gonna tell her in my own way. And Sheriam just, like, blurted everything out.
I mean, it is important to note that Lilane is like a sitter, and she's very high up in the blue. And Sheriam and Swan are both blues. Like, everybody's blue here. So there's, like, a hierarchy within the blues that's happening here, too.
Yes.
So, but yeah, Sheriam, like, just shut it for a half a second here.
I know. Well, it looks bad, though.
Yeah.
So Sheriam's instinct to just shout out why they're meeting and why Swan, maybe, she's like, oh, well, we were all just wandering around and we happened to be here when Swan rode in, all frantic.
It's kind of like in like Big Brother and stuff or Survivor, when one person who's not in your alliance walks in on your alliance meeting and then everyone just like stops talking immediately. It's like, guys, change the subject and keep talking like you weren't talking about a game plan here.
You should practice that before you
Practice
go in
it,
the house. Yeah. Absolutely.
And that's when I said, that's the biggest penis I've ever seen.
And that's
so I brought you to the Penis Museum where tickets are $1,000.
That's good. You're really catching people up to speed on The Office.
Exactly, yeah. That's
this episode.
Yeah.
Good. All right. So basically what's going to happen here is Leilani is going to tell Swan to go for a walk with her. Mm-hmm. So here we go.
Yeah. There is a word that I had to look up, too.
Ooh, which one?
Well, Lelaine...
There were several, actually.
There's a few. Lelaine looks at Swan like she has, like, with two awls or something.
Oh, that's not one that I even...
A-W-L. But an awl is a small pointed tool used for piercing holes.
Oh.
So she's...
It's a piercing stare.
It's a piercing stare.
Nice.
You could have just said piercing stare.
No. Absolutely could not.
Yeah,
nope.
There you go.
Got it. Okay. So they leave the tent, and there's a whole thing with Swan having to untie her horse because she tied it up like crazy. We didn't talk about that at all.
I want to talk about it, though, because it's so funny.
No.
It's so funny. It's so funny.
She ties the horse up like she would tie a boat.
So this is the funny part. So she ties up the horse, and the three warders that are outside this Merle's tent are, like, watching her tie up the horse, and she uses a type of knot. Keep in mind, Swan's like a fisherman, basically.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Ties a knot that's good enough to hold a boat, like a good-sized boat, in strong currents and, like, gale force winds.
But she doesn't know how strong this horse is if it wants to take off.
And she thinks you're not the one who's going to have to pay for this horse if it abandons, it, like, escapes.
Oh, yeah, and it was that guy's wife's horse.
Yeah, it's his wife's horse. Yeah, you get it.
What is it? Gentle as milk water nightfall. What's the horse's name? It's a nice
Night Lily.
Night Lily. It's
actually
a really that's the best horse name so far. You know what it's better than? Swallow.
Yeah. Okay.
Whose horse is Swallow?
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember?
No.
I think it's Fail's.
Maybe.
Because Perrin's is Stepper.
Yeah.
Right?
That's one of it. One of it. He's had multiple horses.
No, he's got Stepper. That's the one.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, anyway. Lots of terrible horse names in this book series. But Night Lily's a nice one, and she's gentle as milk water.
Okay.
Or something.
Anyways.
Swan doesn't agree.
Let's move on.
Right.
No, she's a menace to society.
Okay, so Leilani is going to say... I don't know what her name is. I'm never going to get this right. Lelaine is going to say to Swan, strange friends you have. And then makes a roundabout comment about Swan being stilled.
Yeah.
And then she talks about how she avoided Swan because it would be super awkward because she's not strong in the power anymore.
Yeah. Plus the whole stilling thing, you're not even supposed to acknowledge that.
Oh, I thought you weren't supposed to acknowledge how strong people are.
Yeah, probably both.
Okay.
Also age. Just like generally don't talk about anything.
Right.
That's a safe rule.
Okay. But now we're going to find out that failing kind of sucks.
Yeah, so Lelaine drops the bomb and she's like, hey, the meeting you were having tonight with these strange group of friends confirms the information of what Lane told me. So if you recall, at the very end of Crossroads of Twilight, Egwene was thinking that Lane basically went into hiding.
Yeah.
And we had no time for that.
Yeah, we don't know where she is or what's going on.
Yeah, so it turns out that she spilled a bunch of beans all over the floor.
Well, because she was the one who was supposed to be spying on Lelaine. Mm-hmm. And Lelaine caught her.
Yeah, because she was like...
And now she's being held as a captive in Lelaine's basement.
I mean...
Yes. She's like, I guess I can let her go now.
Yeah, it doesn't sound great when you say it like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but, how else do you want to say it?
Hey, we're just having a basement party and...
No, there's no party.
There's a curfew of not leaving.
You don't even want to see the basement of a tent. It's just a dirt hole.
Oh my god, yeah, that's what it's a tent, so okay.
Yeah.
Specifically, though, just for the record, Lelaine explains that Lane doesn't specifically... betray everyone. It's just she said too much in little pieces, and then Lelaine was able to suss everything out.
Yeah.
She pulled a bunch of the information together from Lane running her mouth, and she at least understands that the group of sisters that have an allegiance to Egwene, but it doesn't necessarily seem like Lelaine fully understands how everything went down.
Okay.
All she knows is that they're all kind of working to help Egwene.
Okay. Because then Lelaine asks, you and your friends have been very faithful to Egwene. Can you be as faithful to me?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Now it's blackmail. A little bit.
Yes. Yes.
Which is fine.
Again, if you want to say it like that.
I'm here for a little bit of blackmail.
It's like a basement situation in the tent all over again.
Right. And I've just decided in this moment that I like Lelaine better than I like Ramonda.
What? That seems like Lelaine propaganda to me.
A little bit.
Okay. Why?
I like that she's blue, Aja.
Okay.
And I think that she will hate Elida more than Ramonda would. Like, if I'm comparing the two for Amerlin's seat, which is clearly what Lelane's doing here.
Sure, yeah.
I like Lelane better. I think that she would
you know what? Yeah.
do a better job in the tower.
I get it.
Against Elida. Because she hates
Yeah.
Elida more.
Yeah. It's like the personal and the Aja vendetta.
Yeah.
I get it. No, it makes sense.
And this is smart.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas Ramonda is not doing this, which is not smart.
Yeah. She's yellow, and she'd probably be like, oh, let's heal the tower. And Lelaine would be like, F it, let's
Idiot.
drop a bomb on here. Let's get her. Let's get her.
Which is more exciting.
Yeah.
For sure.
A lot more exciting.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then Swan is like, hey, listen, I'm faithful to you as a sitter for my Aja, but Egwene is the Amerlin's seat.
Mm-hmm.
And Alon's like, yeah, no, I get it. I
Totally.
understand totally that.
For now.
For now.
It's like, oh no.
So Swan is actually going to tell more details about what Egwene said to Lelane than she does to the other people.
Yeah, she definitely includes like a little bit of extra. And maybe building some of that rapport.
Maybe.
Maybe it doesn't even matter that much.
Well, I'm wondering too how much Egwene shared about who to share what with.
Okay.
It's hard for me to really believe that though, because every time I've seen Egwene in Teleran Riyadh having a meeting with somebody when she has very important information to share, she doesn't. She doesn't share the most important information that she should share, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
And it always, always, always frustrates me. It
Sure.
never fails to infuriate me, actually.
Yeah.
And so here, I can only believe that she told Swan literally the bare minimum.
Yeah.
I doubt she shared absolutely everything that she wanted to actually share.
That sounds like a win, though.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay. No, I agree. I agree with you.
Okay. Now, apparently, Egwene did share with Swan that she's sure someone betrayed her.
Yeah.
And Swan is not going to share that with Lelaine.
Yeah, because that's also the undercurrents of this chapter, too, is like, okay, who betrayed Egwene? Because the only people who knew about the Quendiar plan were the people who were involved in it. But other people, like, knew other things. And the big, like, asterisk on the end of this chapter is like, okay, now we have a blue, which is Lelaine, who has a reason to betray Egwene, which is what we're going to come up to next. So keeping the Lelaine betrayal as a possibility in mind, it's important for what she, again,
says and does.
Blackmail,
Right.
Maybe a little bit. Maybe a little bit.
So then Swan says, Egwene has called a sitting of the hall for tomorrow evening when last sounds. And last is like the bell, I guess.
They have like the different timing of the bells.
The tolling bells.
Yeah.
Inside the tower. In the hall of the tower.
Yeah.
And then Lelaine laughs and is like, cool, of course I'll be there.
Because
it's in Teleran Riyadh.
We're doing a Teleran Riyadh meeting of the hall.
Under
in
Elida's
the hall of the
nose.
tower. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's like under her nose, kind of, in Teleran Riyadh.
It doesn't say that here, though. Does it?
Well, Lelaine says, ha ha ha, we have more than enough, like, dream Terangrial to make that happen.
Oh, I missed that.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it's pretty clear. It's a Teleran Riyadh meeting.
Oh, God, I hate when I miss anything.
Yeah, so Egwene is calling a Teleran Riyadh Hall of the Tower meeting in the tower where she's captive, but then it's also under the tower's nose, basically. So Egwene is seemingly going to address her hall in the real hall, probably about, like, what the plan is. Like, I would have to assume, as the leader who's just been captured, you want to have a meeting inspire the troops a little bit, be like, hey,
I'm alive and I'm your leader still.
Yeah, like, you can't all quit.
Yeah,
so
that's what I imagine.
It's a pretty important meeting, probably. Which, why having it in a significant place, like literally in the hall of the tower, it makes sense.
Yeah.
So.
But what's interesting is, Swan tells Lyanna that Egwene thinks all the Ajas in the tower are turning on each other, and Lyanna doesn't necessarily believe it.
Yeah.
Because she's like, well, Egwene could only have seen a handful of sisters, and if I was Lelaine, even if I'm me, I'm still, like, we were talking about Egwene's audacity.
Yeah, because we saw, like, 3 sisters who hated each other.
And she's like, this is so weird. And, like, she's right, actually. This is so weird.
Yeah.
And she did pick up on it.
Yeah.
But I understand Lelaine's skepticism.
Yeah.
Here,
totally.
I get it.
Totally.
Now, Lelaine's going to start talking about understanding the rescue refusal because nobody wants more dead sisters, and she's wondering what Elida is playing at because, like, why wouldn't we punish Egwene? Why is she not even being, like, birched? Like, what's going on?
Yeah. We kind of get them trying to suss out, too, like, where Egwene's being kept. And Swan is working overtime right now to try to make sure nobody's thinking too hard about where she physically is in the tower so that we can prevent some sort of crazy rescue plan.
Right.
Because, again, with the, it's like, yeah, technically Swan's telling everyone that Egwene said no rescue involving sisters, but you could easily act like, I didn't hear it, or just send a sister who didn't hear it from Swan. It's like you can bypass that really easily to make a rescue attempt.
Right.
So.
Yeah. And then Lelani's like, well, she couldn't possibly try to make Egwene accept it again.
Mm-hmm. Nope.
And then,
it's going to make her a novice.
And Swan's like, oh, no, not that. So that makes me think that Swan knows where Egwene actually is. Which leads me to believe that Egwene actually shared information.
It's like back and forth. Where are we landing here?
And finally, we're going to end here with Swan wanting to know why Lelani was like, hey, are you going to be faithful to me?
Yeah. Super weird comment and stuff.
And she's like, well, Egwene is the Amerlin seat until she's dead or stilled. Right. And if that happens, then stupid Ramonda is going to be vying for the position, and I'm going to have to be doing everything in my power to stop her. So, can you be as faithful to me as you are to Egwene?
Right. Okay. So that's where the suspicion of, like, okay, now there's a blue who has a reason to want Egwene to be dead or stilled. Because then she can become Amerlin. Right. Lelaine can become Amerlin. So.
Yeah. Right. Which, absolutely, keep on our radar. I'm going to write down, we're going to think about all the time. Mm-hmm. However, let's backpedal, because whoever betrayed this plan didn't do it to betray Egwene.
Yeah, specifically. Yeah.
Nobody anticipated Egwene going to do this on her own.
Yeah, that was a
spur of the moment. So this was never an attack on Egwene.
But it could have been an attack on the rebel camp.
Like we didn't want the harbor sealing to succeed.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of people it could have been.
Right.
And like any one of them could have been like Black Aja working under Masana.
Yeah, I was going to say definitely not Masana because she's so fucked right now. Last time we saw her, she is in, like, a lot of trouble and probably doesn't have a lot of say herself.
Okay.
And I would say that having the rebel camp outside of Tarvalin, while the siege is kind of failing, almost seems good for the Black Aja and for the Forsaken and for the freaking Lord of Chaos.
Yeah.
Let the Lord of Chaos rule, haha. This is so funny.
Yeah.
The tower split.
Yeah.
Like, that might be good for them to have this plan fail. I don't even know. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I mean, keeping the tower split seems like a good thing for anyone who's evil.
Or do they think it's funny to have Tarvalin's exits and entrances blocked off?
Can it be both?
Yeah.
Can it be both?
Yeah, it can be both. But yeah, it doesn't feel like evilly Black Aja stuff. I don't know. Could be.
All right.
Because those are the ones who are going to have the networks back and forth for the most part.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay.
Now I don't know at all.
Now you've overthunk it.
I've overthunk.
Yep.
Shoot, I hate when that happens. Too much thinking.
Yes.
Always gets me into trouble.
That's the problem.
All right. So next episode, We are going to be talking about...
Chapter 2.
Chapter 2.
Yep.
Okay.
Chapter 2 and 3, and then 4, 5, and 6, 7
okay.
are double chapters.
Okay.
Yep.
4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, cool. Sounds good.
We're moving along.
Yep, okay. So before you go and comb your hair so you don't get dandled on someone's knee, I'm going to say that this is part of the pattern now.
Yeah, it's part of the pattern.
Well, that's it for us for now. Thanks so much for listening, everyone. The Wheel Weaves is hosted, edited, and produced by Dani and Brett with Passion Socks, KoD Fouts, Benjamin, Michelle O'Brien, Jonathan Reese, Jamie Young, Megan Smiley, Jared Berg, Ricky Morissette, Lance Barden, Charlie Haz, Adam, Hannah Green, Marta Thier, Michelle Forbes, MKM, and Antoine Benoit. With music by Audionautics. Be sure to check out our Patreon page if you're interested in supporting us and the podcast. We'd love to send you some Patreon exclusive merchandise as a thank you. Plus, you'll gain access to our episodes earlier than everyone else. And at the time of recording, we have over 40 bonus episodes for your listening pleasure. Find all that and more at patreon.com/thewheelweavespodcast. For general information about our show and information like how to send us shot glasses, how to join our Discord, and how to get in touch with us, visit thewheelweavespodcast.com. And as always, be sure to give us that 5-star review because it really makes a huge difference in helping other people find us. So be sure to tell a friend, Riyadh, because referrals really are the best compliment. Thanks again for listening because this really is part of the pattern now.